Usually, when I do these episodes, I would plan it out, write some points down on my notes app, do a little bit of research, gather my thoughts, you feel me? But I woke up today, and if you may know, September is Suicide Awareness, Suicide Prevention Month. I'm sorry for not knowing exactly what it is, but I woke up today thinking about mental health. And if you've been following my Instagram stories, I had a list of topics that were coming next, and the next was gonna be relationships, starting my three episode series on relationships. But this morning, God spoke to me and said, "You gotta talk about mental health. That's that's something that's important to talk about today. Something that's not talked about enough today." So what's gonna happen right now is I'm gonna record this in a freestyle manner. I don't got no points in front of me. I'm just gonna talk. We're gonna talk about mental health. So, welcome to the Imperfect Podcast. Alright. So, I guess I can talk about myself and I don't want to say my mental health, but what I've done well, yeah, we're going to talk about my mental health a little bit, but we can talk about what I do to help with my mental health. Now, this is a Christian podcast, obviously, and I do welcome all viewers of all religions, or if you're not religious at all, I welcome you to listen with an open mindset. But I will go ahead and say, as a Christian, from my belief and from my experience, my best therapist has been God, Jesus, going to the Bible. Yeah, I can't go without saying that God has been my therapist. Many people say that I should get a therapist sometimes, but at times I do feel like my therapy is in a book called the Bible, and my therapist is available to me at all times through prayer. And from my experience, yeah, it's benefited me. It's benefited me to pray about the things that are going on in my head, the things that I don't want to tell anybody, the things I don't want to open up about. But for some people, I don't think it's enough to say you need to pray to God. Well, let me rephrase that. There's nothing God can't do. There's nothing prayer can't solve. But what I'm trying to say is, in my opinion, if you got someone on the verge of taking their life, my go-to thing to say wouldn't be you should pray to God or you should read the Bible. While I do recommend it, there are other ways to help cope with mental health. There's other ways to help better your mind. And I can get into that a little bit too. First, let me go ahead and talk about what I do to help with my mental health. If you know me, you know I love the gym. Shout out to Jeff, my gym partner. We're separated because we're in college, but the gym is my therapy outside of God, obviously. The gym, my stress relief, my therapy, it's very therapeutic. Even walking on a treadmill is therapeutic to me. A lot of people hate cardio, but I'm not gonna say I love cardio, but it does help ease my mind. It does help me relax, helps put me in a better mind space. Lifting weights, getting stronger, getting my body in better shape, eating right, being on a good diet, losing weight. That's all been very beneficial to my mental health. Part of what going to the gym does, it helps build your confidence. When you get stronger, you start to see those muscles pop out. You start to lose weight, start to gain weight for muscle. That's a confidence boost. That's something that builds positivity in your mind. It's going to boost your mental health a lot. And it's also a good way, like I said, for stress relief. You're sitting there moving weights, moving heavy things. somewhat, if you got anger on your mind, you got stress on your mind, that's a good place to let it out. Some some people have the tendencies, and I don't want to say it's their fault, but people with that have thoughts on their mind, mental health problems, they may tend to let out their thoughts, their emotions on others, use others as their somewhat emotional punching bag, and that is kind of a cause for other people to have mental health issues. And it's one of the reasons why I'm doing this, bro, because I hope people can understand there's better ways to cope, better ways to ease your mind. Something that, like I said, something I've noticed people doing is letting out their thoughts or constantly expressing their thoughts to others, their depressing thoughts, their whatever's on their mind. They'll just let it out on other people. And don't get me wrong, as a friend, you should look to be there for your friend that may be going through something. If someone needs someone to talk to, you should. I'm not saying be their therapist, because trust me, from my experience, playing the therapist is very, very exhausting, and that's something that's taken a toll on me from the past. Something that's, I don't want to say torn me apart, but it's cost me friendships, cost me relationships. Playing the therapist is not good. There's professionals and better fit people that are meant to be therapists, but you should be able to sit down with your friend and let them vent a little bit. And I say a little bit because it shouldn't be an everyday occurrence. You shouldn't come to somebody every day dumping your baggage on them, because then that creates that person's baggage, and now you got two people going through things, two people with constant negative thoughts on their mind. Everybody, there's a lot I could say right now. I'm glad I'm freestyling this because I just want to, like, I literally woke up today and so many things came to my mind talking about this, and I just want to let them all out, not in an organized manner. I just want to speak my mind in this episode. So if I'm all over the place, if this turns out sloppy, please, please, please forgive me. But there's just something that I feel like I have to get out, because mental health is not addressed enough. But let me try and get a little bit organized, okay? So let me go back to ways to cope. Let me say from what I've seen, these are the ways I've seen people negatively cope with. Man, there's a little disclaimer. I'm going to talk about a lot of sensitive topics throughout making these episodes, and I'm not going to filter them, I'm not going to hold back. So proceed with caution as you listen to these episodes. Since it's mental health, I guess this is considered maybe a little bit of a sensitive topic. I don't want to say controversial because it's pretty important, but I may talk about some sensitive things. But proceed with caution, this is a warning. But some negative ways I've seen people cope with is eating food, binge eating. This leads to people developing eating disorders, leading to body dysmorphia, body image issues. So many, ends up becoming a domino effect. And I've seen so many people, so many. Oh my gosh, I've seen. Oh my gosh. I've seen my friends damaged by eating disorders, body dysmorphia. I've seen them overcome it too, but it really hurts when I see them suffering. It hurts to know that, how do I say this? It hurts to know what they're going through. It hurts that I can't help either. That's another thing I'm gonna say. I'm gonna keep it a little bit organized. That's something I'm gonna say for later. But seeing my friends suffer, seeing them going through things and me not being able to help, it really hurts. But stuff like food, that's one way. I'm gonna leave it at that. That's one negative way people cope. Another ways, drugs, alcohols. Come on, Nate. Alcohol, parties. While some people may see that as fun, and uh, I'm not shaming anybody for doing that, but if that's your outlet for mental health issues, that's your outlet to cope with your problems, you may want to reconsider. That's not really a healthy thing to do. Like I said, I'm not shaming anybody for doing drugs, drinking alcohol, going to parties. Do as you please, but if that's your reason to cope with your life problems, your mental health problems, I'd advise against that. Another way I mentioned letting your emotions out on others. Other people don't deserve to feel your wrath, and they don't deserve to be attacked just for existing. Like letting out your negativity on others isn't it's not benefiting anybody. It's not. If anything, it's gonna make your friends dislike you. Might make them dislike you. Make them concerned for you, but it might make them dislike you. Might push them away from you, and then that'll cause if you have mental health issues, that's gonna damage you even more. If you push your friends away, then you're gonna have that feeling of loneliness on you, and that's gonna put you in a deeper pit that you're already in. Another way of negative coping is listening to sad, depressing music. Trust me, I've been there. If you're sad, you shouldn't feed yourself more sadness. It's easier. Everything I'm saying is so much easier said than done. I'm calling out all these negative ways of coping and saying you should do other things, but I know it's easier said than done. So I just want to put that out there. But feeding yourself negative music when you're in a negative state, that's going to also put you in a deeper pit that you're already in. I know there were many times where I've thought, hey, I'm not in a good mindset. Let me listen to this sad music because it expresses the way I feel. It's relatable. It sounds fitting to my mood right now. But if anything, that just embraced the way I felt, and it pushed me deeper, deeper, and deeper into the negative state that I was in. Another negative way is, do I have another negative way? Those are, I'd say I leave that as negative ways of coping that I've noticed. I'm sure I've missed some, but I'll just leave it at that for now. And now I want to go and talk about better ways of coping, more positive ways, more ways that I've done it. This is a little bit all over the place because I did mention the gym earlier, but the first one I'm gonna say is mention. First one I'm gonna say is go to the gym. I already talked about going to the gym, how that's helpful, so I won't dive deeper into that and waste y'all's time. Another good way is listen to positive music. Listen to music that makes you smile. If you're sad, you want to make yourself happy. You want to smile. So I know there were recently times where I felt down, and I did have that temptation to go into sad music. But then I realized, Nate, what are you doing? You need to smile. And if you know me, you know I'll smile, but you know what I mean. So I would go to the music that is more positive, makes me feel happy, makes me feel more upbeat, and do stuff like that. Another good way of coping is doing a hobby or doing something that makes you happy in general. I mentioned the gym because that's one of my hobbies. It's one of my favorite things to do. But if you like playing video games, if you enjoy playing video games, turn the game on, play some video games. I don't care if you do it for 5 hours. It's not good for you, but we're talking about your mental health here. Do something that makes you happy. Play that video game, read a good book, watch your favorite TV show, watch Netflix. But listen, do not sit here, don't sit in your room, trap yourself in a room, drown yourself binge watching 8 shows in a week because you're upset. That leads me into my next way of positive coping is go outside, get some sunlight, get some vitamin. whatever one it is. Indulge in nature. Go on a walk. If you got a nice scenic place around you, I go to Virginia Tech, so we got, I do not remember the exact name, but we got a little garden, and it's a nice garden. What can I say? We also have this space called Duck Pond where they got a trail you can walk around. There's literally a pond full of ducks, and it's relaxing. You can somewhat escape from reality. Um, but yeah, just take some time to go outside, escape the indoors, get natural light, get some fresh air. It's very relaxing. My next way of positive coping is to find someone you trust and occasionally talk to them about how you feel. Now, this is somewhat a two-way thing to do. If you trust this person enough, you'll come to them. There's no judgment, there's no hard feelings or anything. You trust that you convince them, go ahead and do that. But at the same time, that person should also be checking up on you. Also, like, keep in mind of what you told them. Be respectful of what you told them. Keep it confidential. But yeah, just have a healthy friendship. And listen, not everybody's gonna be that person. It may not be your parents, it may not be your best friend, it may not be your boyfriend, girlfriend, but you just gotta find someone, at least one person that's um trustworthy enough to vent to. Another thing, something I like to do, I haven't really done it recently, but journaling is another good way of coping. Um, Me personally, I don't express myself. I don't really express what's on my mind. I don't express the things I want to say a lot. When I'm around the right people, maybe I'll express myself a little bit more, but even then, I won't give the full Nate. I won't give everything. And I'm 20 years old. I've had a lot of there's a lot of stuff up here, bro. I've had a lot of things happen in my life, a lot of emotions that I've experienced, and I know I don't like sharing what's on my mind to people. I'm very quiet, very reserved. Um, something I did last fall was I started journaling. I just let out anything that was on my mind that I needed to. No organization, whatever you need to let out, whatever's strong on your mind, write that out, put it on paper. You got it out somehow. It's somewhere. You can even come back to it eventually. I wouldn't say immediately, but come back to it eventually. And when you know you're in a better state of mind, go back and look at how much you've grown. Look at what you wrote down. If you wrote down any problems you're dealing with, look at how you've moved past those. Dang, my bad. Look at how you move past those problems. If you're still dealing with them, think, what do I need to change in order to start progressing? But bottom line is, start journaling. It's really, really therapeutic. Another option aside from journaling is speak it out loud. I'm not saying to somebody, I'm saying speak your mind out loud. Me as a quiet person, I don't speak my thoughts a lot out loud. So literally sometimes I'll be in my room by myself and sometimes talking I would say I'm talking to myself, but I'm really at times talking to God. I'm really venting out loud. Not in a bad way, but like, I'm just letting what's on my mind out. If I have thoughts, I'm trying to figure something out. I'm trying to put two and two together. I'm trying to figure out why do I have these issues going on? Why do I have all these things running through my mind? I'll speak it out loud. Something I tried recently was sitting in front of my mirror and talking to myself. It may seem weird, but hear me out. If you're looking at yourself in the mirror, you're looking at yourself, but you're looking at a person, so you don't feel like you're talking to yourself. While you could be talking to God, you at least feel like you have somebody else with you physically there. But when you're talking to yourself, what I do, you gotta speak the positivity out. Like if you let's say you're talking to yourself about something bad just happened today, but speak through whatever happened. Look for the positivity in whatever bad happened, and let the positivity outshine the negativity. Let the positivity make you forget that you had a bad day. And last but not least, go to therapy. Um, I've never been to therapy. I don't think I will be at therapy anytime soon. Not that I'm opposed to it, but get a therapist. Get a good one. Your friends, your parents, they are not your therapists. Your your parents will always be there for you. Your parents will always be able to listen to you, talk to you, but they are not your literal therapists. You need to get a trained, certified professional that can help you. Don't rely on others to be your therapist, and don't force them to be your therapist, and don't guilt them. Don't not guilt. Don't guilt trip them because they don't want to be your therapist. That's how you damage your relationships and put yourself into a bigger hole. Now, if you are the person that you're being if you're the person entrusted with listening to somebody else's problems, somebody else comes to you, they say they need someone to talk to, they're going through stuff. There's some things you do and don't need to do. What you do need to do, and this goes for like relationships, friendships. When someone is just speaking their mind to you and venting, you need to shut up and listen. This isn't a time for you to um try and find a solution. You just need to keep quiet and listen and show that you are listening. Show that you are attentive. Um Something I saw on Instagram was a good way to communicate is when someone's venting to you and then maybe they're done talking, say this: do you want a hug or do you want my help? Meaning, do you need someone to just listen to what you have to say, or are you coming to me for help? Communication like that, whether it be in a relationship or a friendship, those are the things that will help a lot. Those are things that will save relationships, save friendships. Communicating what you need to others is very crucial. Now, I mentioned earlier how it hurts to see my friends suffer. Hurts to see people I know and care about go through things and know that I can't help them and that it's out of my control. I think it's probably a man. It's probably a masculine thing uh, to always want to have a solution, always want to solve something, and always want to have control over things. But the reality is, we can't fix everything. We can't help everybody. We're not always gonna have the solution. So don't try and fix everything. Don't try and help someone find a solution. Sometimes you just have to sit back, accept the fact that you can't control this, and just be there for the person. Comfort them, let them know you're here for them, give them a hug. Because if this person comes to you, it's because they're suffering and they need help. So do the things that are gonna make them feel better about themselves, make them feel comforted. Don't try and be the answer to everything. There's gonna be an answer for everything, but it may not be you, and you may not have it. I said I'm freestyling this. I said I had a lot of things in my mind I want to let out, and I think I did. But I think I got a few more. I got a few more things to say. Also, last few episodes I did mention, like, I always said, like, I'm gonna keep these episodes short, blah blah blah. Then it turns out 34 minutes. I'm not making promises this time, bro. Uh, I'm not gonna put a limit on how long I talk about bettering your mental health. But dang, I lost what I wanted to say. Um, okay, I found it. Uh, the statement "Don't judge a book by its cover" need to be taken more seriously. Just because someone is happy and smiling, it seems like they're enjoying life, that could mean the exact opposite. Like, your face does not tell what's in your heart or on your mind. Someone could be out in public, be the happiest and most friendly person, but then when they get to their room behind closed doors, they got their face in a pillow crying every tear in their body away. So I say that to keep in mind of what you say of people. Keep in mind of what you say to people. Keep in mind of what people are going through, things they don't tell you about. 'Cause you don't know everything about them. You don't know what you say is gonna offend them. You don't know what's triggering for them. You don't know what they've experienced. Respect others, love others. Just be more mindful, be more self aware. Now, there's one thing about mental health that really, how do I say it, makes me mad. I don't want to say mad. Yes, I do. There's people out there, especially on social media, they might act like they have mental health issues for attention. And yeah, that makes me real mad. Don't be one of those people. That's all I'll say. Um, so I think I got everything out that's on my mind. I feel like there's a lot more that I could have said, but this is coming out on the same day that I'm recording. Today's September 9th. It's currently 4:57. This is coming out today. I woke up, didn't think I was going to do this, but God said, this is something you need to address. And typically, when I release an episode, I got like clips that I upload on Instagram and YouTube. And for the last episode, I only had one. And I kept telling myself, "Wait, I can't do this right now. I gotta keep promoting my work. And I can wait. This is more important. Get your mental health right. See a therapist if you need to. Find the positive ways for yourself to cope. Mental health is no joke and needs to be talked about a lot more." Oh, found what I wanted to say more. Yeah. Dang, my English is bad. Found what I wanted to say. Um, men, men. Listen. I- I'm a man myself. We don't express ourselves enough, and it's because we're afraid of being judged. That's why I haven't expressed myself a lot, and if I'm being honest, that's probably gonna say the same for a while. But anyways, don't be afraid to express yourself. You need to find the right people to express yourself to, and those people most likely a good starting point would be your parents. And you gotta find that friend or those friends that you can trust won't judge you. Um, if you're in a relationship and you if you got stuff on your mind that you just been holding back and you need to vent to somebody, your girlfriend, while you shouldn't dump your baggage on her in a healthy manner, you could like talk to her. You gotta communicate. All relationships prosper off of speaking. Nate. All relationships prosper off of communication. Um, so if you have a healthy relationship and you communicate enough, you should be able to communicate to your girlfriend that, hey, can we just talk about life? Because I learned this from recording a podcast with my YouTube group, 240 Mafia. It's something I never thought about. The nature of a woman is to nurture. And when she sees a man or a friend, anybody in general that she knows and cares about and loves, and they're suffering, their instant reaction is going to be to nurture. So, like I said, if you have a healthy relationship with your girlfriend, maybe you should try talking to her. Because she'll talk to you about her day. She'll talk to her about her problems, what she's experienced, and you're always there. At least you're supposed to be there. But maybe your girlfriend is someone you should look to talk to. Because if you think about it, if you're dating to marry, as you should, she could possibly be your future wife. And when you're in marriage, you can't hide anything. You gotta be completely vulnerable. No secrets, no secrets at all. So learn to build that trust. Learn to build that comfort of expressing yourself to your girlfriend to your boyfriend. Just learn to be like that. But men in general, whether you're single or not, you gotta address your mental health. Um, Sometimes, like, I'll see these things like on Instagram saying, I'm a man, so I'm gonna put my pain away. I'm gonna go to the gym and lift weights. I'm gonna put my pain away and keep moving on. Wow, maybe I've done that before. That's not healthy, and you gotta address your mental health. And to other people out there, do not judge a man for expressing himself. Do not judge a man for claiming he has mental health issues. I'm sorry for saying claiming. A man for saying, don't judge a man for saying he has mental health issues. We're all human. Gender doesn't determine if you suffer or not. Um, Men, I'm not about to cry if you're thinking that. Um, but yeah, I think the suicide numbers are that many men take their life very constantly on a daily basis, and it's because sometimes they don't express themselves enough. Every time someone takes their life, I think the common saying is, "Oh, she didn't seem suicidal or seem depressed." Well, how would you know that if one, you didn't know them or do your due diligence to find out, and two, you wouldn't know people wouldn't know how you feel if you don't express yourself. So men, I'm calling us out to express what's up here to the right people. That's the end. Okay, we're done here. Um, if you're watching and you need help, please see a therapist, talk to somebody. I don't know the number, but if you're suicidal, please call that number. Please call the hotline. Um, every life on this earth is valued. Every life was put on this earth for a reason, and I see no life lesser than mine or greater than mine. So every soul on this earth deserves to live, deserves to be happy. So if you need help, please get it. Um, I thank you for staying as long as you did. Please keep your friends, keep your family, keep them in mind. Think about the people you should check up on. And if you need to, please do it. Again, thank you for staying this long, and this is the Imperfect Podcast.